Cindy Wynn. I've been making furniture for the last 30 years. I build furniture out of scrap metal. I have probably about 200 to 250,000 pounds of scrap metal. My welding studio, and I have an idea, or the scrap metal gives me an idea, and I go out and I start collecting parts, and I keep at it until I have the whole design. Usually I design about 10 to 12 pieces at once, so there's pieces and parts everywhere that have a future as furniture. Either lamps, tables, or chairs is usually what I make. Furniture can be art. It's not, the functionality, people think, oh, well, if it's functional, it's not art. But I really think it is, because it changes people. When people, just because you can touch it and sit on it doesn't mean it's not art. I first got started in college. I took all the basic classes, drawing, painting, and then I glommed onto ceramics for about 3 years, which is 6 semesters. At the end of the 6th semester, our ceramics teacher said, you guys get all your stuff out of here. And I thought, well, I'll just take a break and I'll take Sculpture 2, which was welding. I learned how to weld really easily, and I was frustrated because I hadn't made anything creative, so I just made my partner a chair as a joke. And it's like my brain lit on fire. An idea can come from the materials, or it can come from my head, and then I squeeze the materials into my idea, or vice versa. But I study all kinds of furniture, especially 18th century. 18th century furniture has really a lot of amazing details. I use some glass, some wood, but mostly it's all scrap metal. I go out into either, if I'm up north, I go out into a real scrap yard, or if I'm down south here, I go out into my own scrap yard and I look for parts. I do a lot of welding, a lot of cutting with a grinding disc, and a lot of cutting with a torch. And then welding is the most fun step. And then the final step is to put a final coat of lacquer on it and take it down to the gallery. The grinding is still rough, but the cutting, I love cutting, I love welding, I love putting stuff together, I love the hot metal. Even when it burns me, I don't mind, I feel happy. I'm working on a number of projects. What I'm going to show you today is the end of it's a series called a wrench chair. And I've learned a new thing about spring steel. You can't really weld it, so I catch it in a little cage. So that's the final step on this wrench chair. So it'll still have movement with the spring, but it won't be in danger of breaking. My most recent commission, I did the headboard on commission. I have 4 panels to carve. The headboard's all complete except putting it together and carving the last 3 out of the 4 wood panels. And for speculative, I usually do pedestals, console tables, end tables, a lot of chairs. Chairs are my favorite, because chairs are really where I think the art is in my work. Because I make them so that people are very trepidatious when they see them, and then when they sit down, I can see for an instant everything kind of evaporates and they're back into a childlike state, and they start laughing because it moves and it's comfortable, and it's usually down here it's hot and the chair's cool. I just like that moment when it changes their perception of what furniture is about. It makes them feel differently about furniture, and the way people interact with furniture changes when they see my stuff.